All right. So we created the alignment. Next, we're gonna take a look at how to create a profile. So if you remember this like tool that hovers, like you get a different set of tools depending on what you click on. If I click on the terrain and hover over it, it gives me those three. If I click on the alignment and hover over it, it gives me all those. So we're gonna use the second one, which is the profile model. All right, so this is the existing ground at the alignment. Okay. Just by visual inspection, it looks like something is happening here with the terrain. Over here. Not a big deal, it's just that both ends of it. But I wouldn't expect a drop off like this. Maybe it should stop right here. So maybe just interpolating to some points here. I don't know. So we can assume that this is like an outlier, you know. It shouldn't be.
Or you can see the triangles right there when you zoom in on the terrain.
Yeah, that is right. So maybe this triangle needs to be deleted. That's maybe shouldn't be interpolating to it. So a couple things we can do with the profile view. If I click on the control button and I use my mouse scroll, I can change the exaggeration. Okay. So if you have like a really flat area, you can use this to kind of see your terrain better. Or I can just type in a specific exaggeration rate. So you see here at the bottom, I can type in 10, exaggerate it 10x. See, so this is exaggerated by 10, for example. Let's do 50, for example. Okay. One thing also we can do, remember the analyze point tool, same one. I can use it to click on the profile as well. That would tell me where I'm at, both horizontal and vertical. So you see the red line and the blue line. I'm moving my mouse now in the horizontal, and I can see where it is vertical, and I can do the same in the vertical and see where it is in the horizontal. So this is kind of good to track, say like you have a cross culvert or something, you're trying to pinpoint exactly where it is, you can just use this tool. One more thing is, see the dark section, then there's this like greenish section, then another dark one. This just tells me where my start and end of my horizontal curves are on the profile. So if I were to go here, if I were to go to this, you see my red line is at the beginning of this curve, and then the end of it is at the end of it.
That's right, because the Astro Green Book wants you to look at horizontal and vertical together, the combination.
Yeah.
Together.
You know, so it really just simplifies this process for me a little bit. All right, so I've inspected this. So I think we're good to start designing my new profile. So we go back to geometry. So now instead of using this set of tools, we're going to use the vertical, the one right next to it. And you can see here, and sometimes this, like a beginner, I click on lines in the horizontal and try to draw a line here. You see, it doesn't draw anything, like it doesn't even allow me. What it's doing is it's drawing a one in horizontal. So it's really important to, okay, remember that I'm using the vertical. So we can do something like this. This maybe. I'm just replicating existing, honestly. I drew my vertical tangents. Same way how we have the arcs in horizontal, here we have the curve between elements, and we use the parabola between elements. So we use this tool, click on my tangents, and just specify a radius. And right now I'm just gonna specify anything. We'll round those numbers up in a bit. I'll see. All right, and the last one. All right, got my profile design. Similar steps as the horizontal, we also need to complex. So we do a profile complex by elements. Yeah. That's something very important if we want to annotate the profile. We have to give it a feature definition. So if it doesn't have a feature definition, we're going to run into all sorts of issues. Except that's it. Now my profile is ready. The last step is to activate the profile. So what this does, let me show you here, and let me open the 3D view. Right now, if you notice, everything is in, like, everything we drew, like the alignment and all that, is not in 3D. Because we just did a 2D alignment. We haven't really applied the 3D profile yet. So once I come back to this profile and I activate it, see, now it created my profile / alignment in 3D. I can come here, do some visual inspection of it. See that? Yep, looks about right.
So what you're saying is after you created the profile, you had to make it active?
Yes. Yeah.
So right now, this is kind of our scratch pad right now, working.
Mm-hmm.
The vertical profile doesn't actually exist in views in this file, or does it? We created it here.
Mm-hmm. No, it does exist in this file.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. It's just in a different model. Not model, it's just in a different view, really. This is called the profile view. But once I've created it in the profile view and activated it, now like it's there. This is my profile. To see this profile, I have to always click on the alignment and open the profile view, and then this will show up. So each line or each alignment will have its own profile view. So say I create another alignment somewhere here, for example. If I were to open the profile view for this one, it's not going to show me anything. It's going to be blank. So this is like a easy way to look at your existing cross sections. I sometimes do it. You just create a line and you can just move it around to see your existing ground cross sections quick. Yeah. All right. So created a profile, and similar as the horizontal, there's a table editor for profile. It's the same tool. You just use it for the profile. You click on the profile rather than the alignment. And this is a lot more helpful even than like compared to the horizontal. I can here specify, for example, my curve lengths 35, 200. I just rounded up all the curve lengths. Hit apply. And we're good to go. Far so good.
Yes, sir. You did have a button for profile creation. What does that do?
Which one?
Under verticals? You know, we had line, we had curve, and there's something that says profile creation. So you move your mouse to the left, right there. What does that do?
So say I want to extract a profile from a surface.
Oh, okay.
I can use those tools.
Okay.
Or I can show you also, for example,
Okay.
say you have a cross culvert, right?
Uh-huh.
Right here, for example. And you have a profile for that culvert. I'm just gonna draw something. To give it a feature definition. Activate. Okay. So I have this cross culvert, but I want to know where that cross culvert is on this profile. There's a tool over here called profile intersection point. Click on that.
Oh,
Yeah, it tells me locate that, or you want to show the intersection. It's this one. Then this is the intersecting element. Then it shows me the point right here. Okay. That's where the active profile of the cross culvert line is. Okay. This is where exactly it crosses.
Is that the same as the airplane kind of flyover button up there?
No, the quick profile.
Yeah.
This one is, let me show you. So if I click on this one, it's a little bit different. Let me see, how can I, because you can only see the existing ground, right? It's easy to see the existing. But say you have a proposed surface. You want to extract some line from the proposed, you use that one.
Oh, okay.
Use the extract profile or quick profile from surface.
okay.
But you can do it on the existing also, but I can already see the existing profile. Why would I extract? Like, it's just going to give me the same one just right on top of it. I can show you, I mean, it works the same way. This is the referencing surface. Okay, referencing surface to, okay, reset. Reference elements, this one. Very good. Reference element, reference surface, reset. So say I deactivate the terrain, right? Okay. See the surface? And delete. All right. You know, when I deactivated that surface, now it doesn't show up here anymore. I can just do this, you know, like create a profile from this terrain. So I can click on the, this is the element, this is the surface, reset. And there we go. We created a profile.
And that's without it being active.
Without it being active, yeah.
have another question something that I would definitely need when I'm doing something like this. So let's just say I have an 8x8 culvert, right?
Yeah.
And I draw a cube or a box, an 8x8 box, and I know that it's the flow line's X, and I add 8 plus 12 inches for pavement thickness or for the thickness of the wall. I just want to place that square on that profile so I can see, make sure that I'm having enough clearance. Or let's just say there's a gas transmission line. I know it's a 48 inch.
Yeah.
I want to put a circle there on the profile representing that utility to make sure that I'm not cutting into that. How there used to be a tool that you could place something in the profile, like a cell.
Yeah, so two options, either the long one, which is modeling those utilities, which we're gonna get into.
No, not that right now. Yeah, just put it on the profile.
But something quick, just like a sketch, I can just use any of the microstation tools. So say,
But I want to put it at station 17 plus 20, at elevation, you know.
yeah, so I mean, you can eyeball it based on those stations at the bottom,
Okay, so eyeball it.
or you can use the AccuDraw tool, which I'll show you guys also. But right now, I know exactly where this is, right? Like, I know this is my cross culvert, for example. I can come here,
Everything's exaggerated 10 times in that profile.
yeah, but even when you draw this, you gotta take it into account the exaggeration also.
Correct. Okay, so I got it.
So if I were to zoom in all the way, you see now, like I removed the exaggeration. This is 1-to-1. This is how it looks 1-to-1. It looks very flat. So I can come in here and say, okay, this is my flow line. This is my box. I mean, of course, I'll specify the size of it correctly, but yeah.
So you're saying that really the true way to do this is using the utility, the drainage function to build a culvert into this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, but I mean, of course, I do this as well, right? I want something quick. I want to know my profile actually works or not. I usually just draw it here. So yeah, I can, for example, specify here an 8.
I know my
Like
pavement
8.
might be 24 inches thick, but I know that they say it's approximately 3 feet. Well, am I getting close to what?
Yeah, so here I drew an 8x8, for example. Okay. Of course, the flow line will need to be dropped a lot. And since this is my profile, my top of pavement, so if I change the exaggeration, see it exaggerates this with it. And I want to just get a good sense of, okay, how far are we from this? So I can just do an offset, a vertical offset. So here there is, where is it?
You had a offset profile view by offset. Second one from the bottom.
Yeah, no, but that's creating the profile. Hold on. There was a,
I get it.
where's an offset? Yeah, right.
Modifier.
No. Yeah, right here. So under the complex geometry, there is one called profile offset transition. So click on this. You click on the profile and you tell it, okay, drop my profile, say by a foot, for example, for my pavement. Or minus a foot, sorry. The sign matters. And then I want to start from here all the way till the end. Do I want a mirror? No. That's it. Now I've created my hypothetical thickness of pavement.
Which modified tool did you use?
It's under the complex geometry and then profile offset transition.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to the point where we're gonna actually model this, right? With the correct thickness. We're gonna run a corridor right now.
Oh, okay.
So at that point, I'll show you a tool where you don't have to do any of this. You'll see exactly, like, you wouldn't have to do this manually. Like, you just cut a section or cut a profile from your model. Since everything is modeled already, you'll just see everything. So, like, this will not show up in any 3D stuff. This is just 2D line work. I'll keep it here for now. All right, so this is the profile. And of course, there's a ton of other tools. We're not gonna go through them one by one, but those are the most important ones that I just showed you, just the line, parabola between elements, and profile intersection point. That's like the most, and then the complex and the table editor. So this is done. Now we created the alignment file. Next, we're gonna create the corridor. Okay, so as you see, every time I create a new file, I don't put all my eggs in one basket. That way, if something gets, for whatever reason, modified, it's not really affecting everything. So I'm gonna create a new file, call it corridor. Save. All right, I'm gonna reference and alignment and existing terrain. As with every new file, I reactivate. For the profile, you don't have to reactivate it, just the existing ground. Okay. Got my alignment, got my profile, got my existing ground. Those are the three things I need to create a corridor. So click on the alignment again. Instead of clicking on the profile model, I'm gonna click on the create corridor. So I'm gonna click on this. Tells me where's your profile or which profile do you, or reset for active profile. See this? If I didn't have an active profile, I'd have to click on a profile. But we do have a active one, so I'm good with that. So I just reset, which is a right click mouse button. Now I just give it a name. So what was the project name? CR 332. Accept that. Now it tells me which template do you want to use. So something called the template library. This is where I decide what cross-section I want to run. So TextDot has already provided some of them. So let's try, for example, an asphalt cross-section, 2-lane road. You guys want to do with curb or no curb? No curb, right? With V-ditch. All right, let's do this one then. It tells me where do you want to start this template, so we'll just start from here and end it at the end. Drop interval, this is, you can imagine it like pixels, right? How detailed do you want it to look like?
In the cross section,
How often do you want to drop an interval?
This I remember, the more tighter you make it, the longer it takes
The process, yeah,
the process.
exactly. 25 is okay. And that's it. Now it takes me back to the template, but I don't want to apply another template. So this is called the corridor. Right now you can see the interval is a lot more than 25. That's because there's like different levels of, there's like a feature definition for preliminary, design, final. So let's say I do final, you'll notice it drops a lot more intervals.
So why did you put 25 in there? I mean, it didn't do any good.
Yeah, that's right.
It was useless. Okay.
It's kind of useless, honestly, yeah. Because it decides based on the feature definition. You can turn off the correlation between the feature definition and the interval, but by default, you don't have to worry about that. I mean, if you're very early on in the design, just use preliminary. This is very fast processing, and it still drops the intervals, more intervals at the curves. So I'm good with the preliminary one for now. So I want to see my cross section. How does it look like? And let me show you also in 3D how everything is looking like. All right, let's start on this end. Oh, this is my cross section. Everything looks, this is because of the display style. It's called wireframes because everything is really like a wire or a line. But I want to see, if I want to see something more realistic, I can do illustration, for example. Turn on the light. So this is kind of how it looks like. Here, it looks like it's not finding the existing ground to create a ditch, but here it does have enough existing ground to create a ditch. So let's see the cross sections. If I click,
Are you thinking because it could not tie down?
yeah.
It couldn't even just do that. It just be in the
Uh,
air.
well, we're gonna get into that.
Okay.
We're gonna get into that
Yeah,
on
please
why
let
it
me know
didn't.
if I'm getting ahead of that.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that on why it didn't do that. That's okay. Let's take a look at the sections for now. So if I click on the corridor and hover over it, again, it gives me a new set of tools for corridors. The second one is the open cross-section model. Okay. So I open the cross-section, open a new view, and there we go. This is my cross-section. Cool. If I click on those arrows at the top, I just go, station to station, or those stations that it shows at the top, these are based off of the intervals. It just takes me from one interval to the other based on what it decided to place the interval at. I can go at even stations as well. I'll show you in a bit. But this is my first run. Okay. Doesn't look too bad as the first run. Right, we're at the end now. The corridors tab has everything to do with corridors. So the one we used to create a corridor is new corridor. So I can use it, I can click on this tool, or I can just select it from the line right here. It's the same tool. The new template drop is the one where we specified the template. So we can add multiple templates. So say there's a curb and gutter section, and then there's an open ditch section. So we can have two different sections in the same corridor. So you click on new template drop, okay, and you click on the corridor, and then you select your other section. So say we want to do this one. Select that, and then it asks you where do you want to start and stop that template. So say I want to start it right here, stop it right here, for example. So accept that.
You don't have to reprocess that, right?
No. So now I have a curb and gutter. Let me go back to the beginning. See, now it's curb and gutter in this area. Cool. And it's all the same corridor. So the corridor is the big backpack, and the templates are the different items inside of that backpack. Okay. This is as far as corridors from like a high level. Any questions so far? Things good? All right. So now let's answer your question about why it didn't tie at the beginning. The reason why it didn't tie back is it drew this whatever 4:1 daylighting is, and it's trying to go back to the existing. So in the template, there's a specified length of that daylight, like how deep it goes. Okay, so it went maybe 10 feet to here, and then it's trying to tie back, and it couldn't find anything, so it didn't draw anything. That's why. Okay, how do I modify that? Right here, there's something called the template library. Create template, same thing. And right now I'm using the default text.template library. Okay, this is the one that we used, right? So if I were to double click on this bottom point, you can see there's a specified 16-foot horizontal at a 25% slope, so 4:1. So if it goes 16 feet and then like it looks up and it can't find anything, then it just doesn't draw at all. So how do I fix that? Maybe I can reduce this, right? I can just make this 3 feet, for example. And hit close and save. But nothing changed. And the reason is I need to resync every time I make an update. Because the template library is saved in a separate file. It's called an ITL file. And then I have this DGN file. So how do I link this DGN to reread from the ITL file? There's this tool right here. It's called the Synchronized Template tool, or the Thunderbolt tool, I call it. Click on it, and then I click on the corridor or the template drop. So you see those purple lines? This is called the template drop. The green one, this is the corridor. So if I click on the corridor, it resyncs all the template drops, like all the templates in there. But if I just click on one of them, like this one, for example, it just resyncs that specific template drop.
Is there a reason you wouldn't want to resync all the time?
No, honestly. I always resync all of them.
So if you wanted to use that, like for example, 16 foot, like you were happy with that for the majority of the road, just wasn't showing up right there.
Yeah.
Would you just make another template and then for that little tiny portion, change it to 3 feet? Like in general, there's no way to say like prefer 16 feet, but if you can't do that, then 2 feet.
There kind of is. There's different ways to do it. There's a lot of ways to do it. From a beginner modeler standpoint, I would do that. I would just create a template drop.
It's a new one.
Yeah, just a new template drop that is for this area, and just call it a day. That's like the easiest, honestly.
How do you copy the templates from the text dot like into your own? If that makes sense. Like, do you just always directly manipulate the text dot ones, or do you?
No. So what I usually do, so right now it's just taking me to the default one, right? This is saved in the workspace somewhere in my C drive. What I like to do every start of a new project, I just do a file save as. And I place this in my project folder. So right now, for example, I'm here and I call this CR332. Okay. See the format is .itl. Just hit save. Now you want to be careful now that every time you open the file, you have to reload that template library, or else you won't see the latest templates. It's just going to take you back to the default text.1. So let's modify this side as well. Make it -3, for example. Close, save. and then resync. So I drew this tiny ditch on this left side. Or say you don't want to even see a ditch in that area. Okay. If I were to delete this completely, I mean, I wouldn't see a ditch anywhere. So say I want to just have my own template over here. I can copy this template, okay? Just copy, paste. Now I'll just rename it and say without vditch. Okay.
Are you saying right now that the template library that you have right now is County Road 332?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can see it right
Okay,
here.
there.
That's just to save as. I'm gonna delete the ditch. Okay. Just make it tie down to the existing ground. So I check for interception, place point at interception, and sure, end condition is infinite, so it'll just extend it however long it is. It needs to be to go back to the existing ground.
And that's gonna override the constraint you had.
Yeah. So I'll check this on the other side as well. Save. And now I'm still using the old template here. Okay, nothing changed. So how do I swap it with the one that I just created? I just click on this, the purple, go to properties, see the template name here, click on these three dots, and just select the one that I just created. Okay. And there we go. So it just ties back. Here, it's trying to do a 4-to-1 directly, but it's not seeing existing ground right away. Because we're under existing ground at the edge of pavement.
If they do transitions from
Uh,
like
what kind of transitions? You mean
like if you
like going, for example, from no ditch to ditch, like here?
yeah, like if you looked at like 3D, it would just be like a blunt change, right?
It'll be a blunt change, yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, I know we're just cutting cross sections, so like trying to make sure it's not like on there. Is that
Yeah.
one of the
You can fix that too.
okay.
Yeah. I can show you how we can fix that. But to be honest with you, it's a waste of effort.
Okay.
Like there's no point. It's just really how it looks. Like if you're just looking at cross sections, you wouldn't even really
Right.
care about this. From like a
I was just wondering.
perfectionist standpoint, yeah, you can do that. You can modify the transitions to be smooth. Even sometimes when you give it rules, say you want to go from 4-to-1 to 3-to-1 to 6-to-1, instead of having it like bluntly change from one to the other back and forth, you can make it all a single smooth line, just like nice transitions between them. I can show you quick how to do that. Let me just swap this template with one of the other ones, the ditch. That way it kind of makes sense with the transition.
That template name and drop, you're adjusting that, it's the same as it more or less you pull up with the bucket under edit there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here the bucket, this is called the bucket tool or corridor objects. This kind of gives you a summary of everything. So this is like my template drops. I have 3 template drops. I can come here and swap my templates from here as well. So I can change the interval, change the start and stop station. Yeah. And if something is not in sync, like, let me show you. Say I updated this, okay, made it 10 feet. I saved and closed. but I made so many changes in different templates, I forgot which ones are synced, which ones are not. See, it shows me the ones that are not synced in red. That means, you gotta resync those. Once you do resync those, it'll change back to black. So if I have to click this again. Now it resynced them, now they're back in black. Cool. So let's take a look at the transitions thing.
So, quick question.
Yes.
Let's say, okay, we're in preliminary 30% design.
Yeah.
Or let's say 60%, 90%, but I need to run earthwork, I need to do stuff. Is working on tying down, side slopes by hand manually like the old way, is that no longer even something that people do anymore?
No.
No
No.
tying down by hand?
No. No, we just do it through the template.
But there was a comment you made about perfectionism and
Mhm.
things like that, where
Yeah.
sometimes, again, well, for reasons different, we have to, it doesn't make sense to create a criteria file to fix a side slope where there's a culvert
Yeah.
type of thing.
Mhm.
And you're not at final design, you're still in the interim period, you just need to take something to a meeting and you just need some things to work.
Mhm.
You have to make that decision, but no more by hand and everything, cross sections.
No, when it comes to like a cross culvert, it's still tricky to model.
Anything.
Like I would say specific areas where like there's like a bridge abutment,
Yeah.
or there's a culvert, or something like that. I personally still do some manual calcs because the earthwork in those areas is kind of hard to model. Like it's kind of hard to model, for example, the flared wings
Well, you're not
tying
worried about it,
into your existing ground,
Okay.
or to proposed side slopes, or
Earthwork is maybe not is part of it, but the other part is just when we would plot the cross sections, you don't want cross sections that are not complete.
no,
In the air.
no. We do model everything.
Okay.
We do everything. Yeah. In terms of cross sections, all cross sections will look good.
Okay.
It's just if you look at 3D, right? Let's say you have a cross culvert, and you have like some sides. Let's say the cross culvert has parallel wings, okay, and then you have on the sides 4:1s, okay. Well, in real life, what's gonna happen? The parallel wing is gonna like those 4:1s is gonna like shrink down until to get to the parallel wing, right? But in the model, no, it just looks at it like sections. So you'll have 41 and then suddenly a parallel wing. It's not gonna show you that small triangular prism going around the wall. You know what I mean? So you can model that. It's not that you can, so it just takes a lot of effort for what? Like, what's the point? Your cross section looks okay. Unless you want to really cut
Well, you're
your
not putting up the cross sections is what you're getting at. But nowadays, we're giving the model to the contractors.
yeah.
And
No,
they'll figure it out in the field too, but at the same time, you wanna make sure you don't.
depends how much quantity. Yeah. Like if it's a big quantity, say that a small earthwork between the wall and the 4:1, say it's like it's gonna cost you, thousands of dollars. You want to take that into account for sure. So you would want to model that, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. That was it.
Yeah, but on big projects, I mean, something like that is so small. It's not even big of a deal. All right. Transitions are handled by something called a name override. So let's do a transition between those two templates, okay? And those ditches. So if I double click on any of these elements, see this use name override thing? I just check this on. I copy this name and I just make sure this is the same name on the other one. On this one, I want to make sure that it's also the exact same name. Okay.
You're doing that to the element and not the point.
The element, not the point.
Okay.
So Ideally, you want to have it for both the element and the point. That way, the element transitions as well as the point also transitioning. So if I were to do it to the point as well, there's something called use feature name override. So say this is ditch flow line right. Okay, copy, close. This is the same one. It's the same name. So I just turned it on the right side. I haven't turned it on the left side. Let's see how that's gonna look. Haven't done this type of thing in a while. Let's resync. All right, let's take a look at the 3D. Problems. I'm not sure where my transitions are. No template on the other.
Didn't you change that one to be 10 foot and it wouldn't reach before?
Yeah. So here I have it around here. Station 13. Looking different here than here. Okay, so here it's not tying in correctly still. So we got this. I just wanted to draw over here. Just doesn't want to draw. You know, let's do it. Let's do it here, somewhere here, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're trying to transition from the curb gutter to the ditch, is that what you're trying to do?
Not exactly. We're trying to transition the front and back slopes. So you have a 3-to-1 and then it goes to 4-to-1. Instead of it being abrupt, we want to show it like a
Gotcha.
transition.
Does it automatically calculate the length for that transition to be smooth, or do you have to do that?
No, it does it on its own. Well, let me do it on one of the sections where we have existing ground. Might be easier. So there's another tool here called copy template drop. Okay. So say I want to split a long template drop into, like I want to just take a piece out of it and just swap it with something else. I can use this as well, copy template drop. Specify the template drop corridor and say this section from here to here. You see now it just copied the template drop from one piece, now it's 3 pieces. All right, let's do some work on these sections. If we want to really be able to see this, okay, now let me do this. Copy this, paste, call this 4-to-1, or I want to do something more extreme, maybe 10-to-1. Okay. Right now, this ties in at a 4-to-1. I'm gonna create a new one, or I just created a new one. This will be tying in at a 10%, so 10-to-1. Let's do both sides. Oh yeah, I'll be able to really see the transition or difference in transition. This has the override on. This has the override on as well. All right, so I'm just gonna use these two templates.
Would be able to transition without the ditch element on the other one.
Now I have a new issue, which is sometimes the edge of pavement is under the existing ground, so it's not even drawing the tie into the existing. Let me change this as well. All right. Yeah, it's not drawing it. I need to raise the profile.
That's a good question about templates. Is there a check? Because before, back in the day, when you did criteria, you could do it, check if you were above or below ground on a certain point. And if so, you knew which size slope criteria to use.
Mm,
And it knew because if it's less than existing ground, and existing ground was an intrinsic variable, you just knew you up or down, then you could select down,
criteria.
come down, and come up with a ditch.
Yeah.
Is that something like that in the templates that helps you to determine?
You
You
can.
figured it out. You said I gotta raise it up to make it work.
Yeah. You can. Like you want it to be automatic, you mean?
To search, I'm below ground in this section. And I know it's weird because one section's below ground, but the next one's above, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't make sense to have one ditch criteria on one side slope condition that's different for one cross section.
Exactly, yeah.
But it seems like it didn't know that. It just forced it.
Yeah.
And it can't tie down because it's below.
Yeah, usually just looking at your sections.
Which is your profile.
Yeah, because in criteria you don't see your sections. Maybe that's why that tool existed.
Gotcha.
You don't see your sections until you're done with your criteria, but it's iterations, yeah.
Okay.
I guess make this as easy as possible. Don't do this.
On the template, could you have changed its seek parameter to seek up
Seek up.
for the pack point instead of the existing ground? Because you can tell it to go out and hunt a point, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do. I'm just trying to make this as simple as possible, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, we can do like a cut rather than a fill. All right, that worked. So this is the transition that I'm talking about here. Let's see if this would work better if I do this. Honestly, it's not smooth transition. It's a bit annoying because sometimes the whole corridor needs to be using the same templates. Like if you have them on for 2 templates out of 10, it doesn't work for the whole thing. So I'd have to like swap all the templates in that corridor. Show line right, okay. Everything, okay, I'm saying everything is good here, so I think it's just the rest needs to be swapped out. It is connecting them with that. You see this line?
Yeah, it's just not.
Yeah, it's just not transitioning it, really.
Is there a way to say how long to actually make it? Is there some default that to keep it under thing?
Let's see. This is if it's a fillet. Something else. Yeah, so I'll just have to look into why it's not working. I've used this one before. Like the point is very helpful because when you're going from like 3 to 1 to or 4 to 1 to 10 to 1, sometimes you want that one line to apply some rules to it. So there was a project like that sidewalk project that we did. Like I wanted the edge of pavement, even though it's transitioning from -2% to +2%. I wanted to get a profile of the edge of the sidewalk so I can put it in my sheets, for example. And I used this to get a single profile for the whole thing. So
You mean that point?
that point, yeah. Like instead of having multiple profiles every time it transitions from plus and -2, I just used this override thing and I just got one single profile.
I'm wondering on this transition, I wonder if you should have stopped, one template, a section before
Mm.
the beginning of the next template and allow the triangles to,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
To connect to each other.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like one ends and the other one begins at the same place.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was a gap.
No, I mean, there's a lot of tools. Honestly, I don't usually
I think we get it.
have
I
to
think
bother
we
and
see what's happening.
yeah, no, there's one called transition. Hold on.
And I think for our purposes, your typical section should show you what the standard
Yeah, so
section is, and then there will be notes to say, in conditions where the height is, something related to the clear zone,
yeah,
4 to 1 to the clear zone, and then drop down.
there's
That
this
the
one.
contractor knows what to do.
Mm,
But again, if you're trying to give the perfect model to somebody, then yeah, I guess you want it to show what you really want, right?
yeah,
For me, the limited construction would have been very important to show on the sheet.
yeah. One way this can be done also is using the display rules. So you can have those transitions happen in the same template rather than in different template drops. I think that's the reason why it's not working. So say we have in the same one, you know, let's add a new end condition. Call this grading, TC ditch, and TC grass. Okay. Fine, cool. So say the slope is minus 10%. It's gonna look for the 10-1. If it doesn't find it, it's gonna look for this. For the 4-1.
Since it's got the red on there and is the double constrained on that R that you just put in there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I'm gonna do that. Hold on. I'm gonna be copying the same feature name override. And then copy the same element override as well. Okay.
well, what I was meaning there, the R, it has that horizontal offset of like the 17
16,
feet.
17.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so is that going to override the ditch flow underscore R? Or will they kind of interpolate between them? Because this is where I always kind of.
Well, it's gonna try to seek existing, okay, within that 17 feet. If it doesn't find it, it goes to the 4-1.
Okay.
And then this one is infinite, so it extends as long as it needs to be.
That's a or condition and a or condition is,
Yeah, so we can test it here. You see the test? This is my existing ground. You see?
perfect.
Okay, so if it,
Once it's
Past
past that
17.
17 feet, you keep going down, and then it switches to that 4-1.
you can set that order.
Yeah. We set that in the element itself. So you see, I gave this a priority of 1.
Okay.
And if I double click on this one, this is priority of 2. If I want it the opposite, I can do that too. If I want it to look for 4-1 and then go to 10-1, I can do that as well. Just flip the priorities. Oh,
A dumb question, but not a dumb question, but it used to be draw to a certain line style.
mhm,
Or ad hoc variable, if it was a retaining wall, then do this.
yeah.
If there is a feature definition of a retaining wall, is there something in there that says, do this? Those, if it intersects something, not just natural ground, it
Yeah.
intersects a different line feature.
Yeah, so I can set it to here. I can change the target type from terrain model
Oh,
to whatever I want, like a certain elevation, some linear horizontal line, some feature definition, you know. So if it does hit that first, it'll do whatever.
so theoretically, we could draw a ditch line if we wanted to force a ditch right here.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can force a ditch flow line. Yeah.
It's my preferred method.
Yeah, same.
There should be a thing when they did simple site where you could actually drape a line and tell it to draw to that
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, I'll show you. We're gonna talk about that in the afternoon also. Show you how to like model a ditch flow line
Sorry.
because you want to keep your front and back slope at the same slope, right? You don't want to change them 3-1, 4-1, 10-1.
No,
So to keep the and control a flow line, you just want to have the template tell you where it needs to stop horizontally because the existing ground is changing so much. So you can do that. And then anywhere you're outside of your right of way, you can force like for example, like on the back slope, if it's 4-1, you can force it to do a 3-1, for example, in this section where it's outside the right of way to stay within the right of way limits. So we'll talk about that. Well, let's see how this is gonna work. I hope it just doesn't draw the 10-1 everywhere. because that's probably what's gonna happen. You know that left side is working a lot better than the right side. So let's just do it on the left side as well.
I've been using this wrong for you.
Why?
Yours just works so much more directly.
Oh, like trying to get it to do what I want it to do. Yeah, I know. Oh, believe me, it took me years to figure this out. It wasn't a day and a night.
So this would be our priority thing as well for these sides.
I'm gonna give this priority of 1, and then this is priority 2.
I know you can mirror parts of your template across. Will it carry the priority settings with it, or will those have to be set?
No, they'll have to be set. Yeah, because when you mirror, you're placing the element before you specify the properties.
Okay.
All right, let's try this. Should I change the priorities? So here we can place a horizontal temporary dimension to see, okay, like what slopes is it using? Okay, so it's 10 to 1 right here. A little bit after that. Doing 4 to 1 here. Oh, let's do one more thing. I forgot. Sometimes in the preliminary class of corridor, it doesn't do some of the transitions as well. Yeah, so it is transitioning now. You can see that.
You just got more sections in there.
Yeah. So now you see here it's it is right.
Turned all the features off, but it seems to be moving in consistently. And
Yeah, I mean it's tying into something. And yeah, this is a perfect example. You see this? Too bright. Lower this a bit. Yeah, this is the perfect example of it. So it's transitioning from like a 10 to a 4 to 1 because you see it's kind of mimicking the existing ground because it couldn't find the 10 to 1, so it went to 3 to 1. Oh, finally figured it out.
Sorry, I didn't mean
But-
to derail this so hard.
Oh, good. I mean, but that's the thing, like, is it really worth
Yeah.
all that trouble just to get this small triangle over here. Aesthetics. That's aesthetics, really, honestly.
I don't know, I mean, part of it is, you know, if she designs this and gives, and the contractor asks her, can I get the model? They used to ask for XSR files in the background, so they
Yeah.
can do their own stuff in the background.
Yeah.
And she hasn't verified that she can actually build what she's saying, and there's a lot of flux. And I'm just talking hypothetically.
Yeah.
Did we really do our job? I mean, it's one thing to
Yeah.
say, is it that much work on the CAD to make this happen versus I gave you something that you can really build.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree. Yeah.
So they're asking for models, and we want to make sure we give a good design.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, previously, right, the cross sections used to be every 100 feet. Now we're looking at, you know, minute details, like 10-foot sections even sometimes. So it's whatever we're giving them now, it's a lot more detailed than any previous generation of design.
Right, right. But y'all still giving papers out, but they're going digital delivery, and so you're not gonna have 20-foot cross sections
Oh yeah, no,
on paper. You're gonna have
yeah,
a
no.
model.
Once we get to the digital delivery, yeah, I totally agree. At that point,
And I never
You're-
thought 100-foot cross sections were sufficient. Maybe on a very rural roadway, but when you've got a lot of intersections,
yeah,
I 50 feet
yeah,
at the most.
I agree. Yeah, in the digital delivery world, we'll be talking about getting all the quantities from the model. You don't just do 2D or hand quantities or all PDF or something. You want to be able to click on this, like asphalt layer and just get an exact. I mean, which we can do now.
That'd be nice, because I hate having to calculate cost estimates are the worst.
Yeah, so here there's this tool, corridor reports. If you click on it and we click on the corridor, we can get all of our quantities. So we can get our cut and fill for this corridor. We can get our volumes right here. Get our cut and fill, asphalt, volumes, like everything you really need. It's all in here. Yeah, and you can specify a unit cost. It's like $100 per cubic yard or whatever. It just multiplies them by each other. Oh yeah, it did multiply. It's just 100. Yeah. Cool. And it kind of gives you like a total estimate here at the bottom. And you can print a report if you wanted to as well. All your quantities per station or per 100 station.
Nice.
Yeah, you can do it by sheet. You can do it by station range, however you want to do it.
It can take a long time for that report.
Yeah, it's very helpful. Like I do my cut and fill earthwork volumes by station limits based on the sheet limits basically. So it's kind of helpful.
Can you go back to the, I think the template, and you kept checking on this override? I'm not sure I fully understand that.
Yeah, so
Why, when to turn it on, when not to?
yeah, so let me show you this. If I hover over this, right? It's just selecting a single element from start to end with the name of DC ditch for slope left. Okay. I come back here. This is the template that I used. If I double click on the top one, my top element is called TC grass right, not TC ditch for slope right
Okay.
or left. And then the other one is called this name. So I have two different names, one for the 10-to-1, one for the 3-to-1. I mean, I can change their names also here.
But they're still the same on the override, right?
Yeah, but in the override, I gave them the same name.
Right.
So what it did, it created a third mesh, a third element that transitions those two together,
Okay.
which has the same name, which is this one. I mean, I can name this anything. I can name this my name, right? Just for see here.
What is the benefit of doing that?
The override,
Yes.
the transitions. Now, if I hover over it, oh, this is the left side. See, now it's called Yazan. I changed the name over here. So. Yeah, what it's doing is it's providing me this transition right here. Like it's providing me all those, like the transition from the 10-to-1 to the 4-to-1, using a third element. On bigger projects, this becomes a lot trickier.
Are you gonna go over merging corridors for like intersections, or is that further up?
It's in the agenda to do intersections, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of topics to cover.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was.
Yeah, we'll get there step by step. For today, I think we're gonna focus on the ditch modeling and like really just understanding how the template is working.